Hey all, this lesson is for utilizing the charcoal filter for the filter class lessons. In my layout I used it here. Let me see if we can dissect this a little bit more. I'll zoom in. You can see kind of a charcoal thing back here. If I get rid of the top photo, you can see I used the same photo and I made charcoal looking mat to put my other photos and my journaling on. I did add this layer here, which has a color overlay. If I do normal, you'll see it looks like this, but I felt like this didn't look too well. The coordination, colors, these photos in the journaling were a little bit harder to read. I did have to put underneath my journaling a mat. It's just simply a green layer with the screen opacity. See if I dissect that, and then I just played with all the blending modes till I found one where I could still see the charcoal and yet read the journaling. And so this is what it looked like before, and then I added over it this layer, and I used the color overlay, and it turned the whole thing into this color, this neutral color, and I just thought that went better. It also broke up the background some. I could have made it just the size of this layout. But let's go ahead and look at the filter. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this layer for us to play with. Remove the layer style, so we're just playing with a normal photo layer. Now, photos that have lines are going to be much better than photos that don't. Your foreground color and your background color do work with this tutorial, with this filter, and your background layer is going to represent the paper, and the foreground color is going to represent the charcoal. And so in this case, let's try black and white. I hit D on my keyboard to make that black and white so we can see what it looks like. And let's go to the sketch and the charcoal, and here we go. You've got a great charcoal. Let's see if I can make this smaller so we can get it all on the recording screen, and I'm gonna make that come out some. Got a great charcoal effect here. I could have just used that and that would have been great. Let's see, you have the charcoal thickness, so like if you're using a thicker piece or stick of a charcoal type pencil, you can change the thickness to get even a different effect. Basically, you move these sliders around. Detail, if you want less detail, or the light and dark balance slider. And there's no right or wrong to any of this. You just choose what you think is going to work right and play with it and whatnot. So I'm going to just do this one, just random. Now, what I did before was I duplicated my photo because I wanted to use my original photo in my instance, and then I had these two layers and I locked them together, and Then I played with the blending modes. And you can see you can get some different effects playing with the blending modes. I actually think that's kind of cool. But you know, we can continue on down and see if there's anything that works. That one there, overlay, is actually pretty ugly. That's like one of the few times overlay is ugly. But you can go through and find something you like. Hard mix is usually ugly. Ooh, difference. Oh, look at how that works. That's really cool. It kind of like really makes it, the hue makes it really defined, like almost sharpens it. Saturation, color, luminosity is pretty cool. Let's see, what were some of the other ones? There's Darken. So this lighten actually looks cool. And then what you can do is also lower your opacity if you want to try to bring in more of that color from the photo. But I think too much and you take away the effect. Or just leave it normal and don't blend it at all, because that's actually pretty cool as it is. Let's go ahead and delete this one and take this extra one and show you how, if I change this, I had used green, but let's just change it maybe to some sort of brown, which is what I could have done rather than adding that overlay, but I was already into it. And there you see how the brown is now the charcoal, and then your paper is still white. Let's say I wanted to change my background color. I don't know. Let's do something random so we can just see what happens. We're going to do blue. And there you go. You see you have blue paper with the brown charcoal over it. Pretty darn ugly. Not a good choice. It doesn't really look like charcoal. I guess it does if you're looking at it like a blue piece of paper with brown charcoal. No. How about some yellow? Let's just try yellow and black, kind of like a bumblebee. There, that's kind of cool. So there's no right or wrong. You just play with it and, you know, try it on different photos. Let's try it on this photo of me in the canoe. Let's just see what happens. As I said, ones with lines are much more effective, and you can see my face is all blurred out. So I actually think I might have used this for another layout. That's one of my favorite layouts. I might have to go look and dig that out. But anyway, that's it for this lesson. It's pretty darn easy. And let's see if you can come up with some unique ways to use this.